High School and Rod Kowalczyk Court for the Bank First. Good evening and welcome to the Pere High School and Rod Kowalczyk Court for the Bank First pregame show. I'm joined by assistant coach for the girls program, Todd Borowski. Todd, 21-3, 18-0 FRCC. I know I email you these questions, but did we exceed expectations a little bit?
Well, I think we surprised some people, almost as much of a surprise as me seeing the Booster Club president, Steve Krieger, on the camera here tonight. Yeah, I think we surprised some people. You know, we were picked third in the conference in the preseason polls, and, you know, that's kind of fueled us, to be very honest, all year long. We've talked about it, and we've said, hey, let's just keep this our little secret. And keep playing our way and find out where it takes us. And
I can sense that, you know, a little bit of that pent up, not saying frustration, but I think that maybe anticipation for everyone in that locker room, knowing what we can do in the postseason. So besides the number 5 seed, right, maybe a little frustrated with that, we have to be feeling really good about the season and the opportunity now to kind of put that hard work right behind us and show everybody what we're about.
Yeah, and the 5 seed didn't really – that's right where we thought we'd be. You know, this sectional is a grinder.
Loaded,
And so the 5 seed, could you make an argument for a 4? Yeah, sure you could. But we were good with the 5. And so we're excited about what the opportunity and what's ahead of us there. You know, the most important thing for us is – you got to beat who's in front of you.
Right.
You got to prepare and beat who's in front of you. So whether it's a 4, a 5, a 6, whatever that is, we just got to show up and play deep here basketball.
Yeah.
And
what type of mentality, how does that switch from the regular season to the postseason, right? I mean, we know it's going to be 6 games to get there, you know, so there has to be that sense of urgency. But what have you guys been talking about?
You know, like we talked about this week a lot, and we just talked in the locker room about, hey, you know, during tough times and against really, really good teams, you don't play to the level of your competition.
Right.
That's a myth.
Yep.
You play to the level of your preparation, right? So all year long, like we've talked about, communication, teamwork, winning 50-50 balls, doing all the little things that make up what a lot of people talk about culture. Culture is when your actions meet your words, right? And so that's what prepares you. And that doesn't start this week. That started back in last June.
Right. Yeah. So talking a little bit about tonight, right? Are we thinking same game plan for both, you know, Bolchen and Schmitz? I mean, they present a unique skill set, right?
Do.
And they can create some issues. So are we changing that up a little bit, or are we kind of keeping things with what works?
You know, we're going to be true to who we are, right? And pressure the basketball and try to really create a lot of things from our defensive side of the floor, which turns into offense. And we did not do a great job last week on closeouts. We gave them a lot of open looks. We didn't do a very good job with communication. And, you know, Bolchen got us for 18, and I think Schmitz had 14 and got loose for 4 threes.
Yeah.
That's not typical of how we've played.
Yeah.
And on the offensive end, you know, we booted some gimmies right around the rim that typically would go down, and we've got to be stronger with the ball on that end and convert when we have opportunities.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap everything up, when we're thinking about the ball game tonight, for the Pere to get that win, right, and move on and play tomorrow night, what do we need to do as a team? Maybe just one thing offensively and one thing defensively to get into that win column.
Yeah, I think offensively we've got to get Fisher going. We got to get some stuff in the paint, and again convert when we're around the rim, because we're going to get some stuff around the rim based on what they do defensively that'll allow us some slips and some things. Defensively, we just have to be really, really good with communication and having high hands on shooters at all times. Like we can't give Bolchen, we can't give Schmitz any wide open, easy looks, which we've been pretty good with all year long. So I think if we can buckle down and be who we are, I think we've got a very good shot at making this a competitive game and getting out of here.
Awesome. Sounds like the girls are ready to roll. Let's go get a W.
Thank you. Go Birds. Keep Steve working there, would you?
Will do. And we are going to take a break hear from some of our sponsors, a couple of commercials, and we'll be back with the rest of our Bank First pregame show right after this.
Then it's time for the best pizza in Wisconsin. Get Gallagher's Pizza dine-in, delivery, and all-you-can-eat lunch buffets at any of our 4 locations. And don't forget to feed the office with our corporate orders. Gallagher's Pizza, the best pizza in Wisconsin.
Luxury vinyl floors are water.
Did they?
Pella, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. And with a 10-year labor warranty, your windows and doors are worry-free for years to come. If something goes wrong, we're here to handle it because you work with the same team from start to finish. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 72 months. Visit PellaWI.com today.
And welcome back to the Bank First pregame show. We'll start first with the Redbird alumni update. Sophie Hafman, freshman over at UW Eau Claire. They finished 8-17 and 3-11 in the WIAA. She's played in 14 games with Blue Golds, averaging 1.6 points per game, season high of 4 points against UW Superior, UW Stevens Point, and Wisconsin Lutheran. Also had a couple of rebounds against Gustavus Adolphus and Stevens Point. Claire Bjorgi, a freshman at the University of Minnesota Duluth, 10-17 overall, 8-14 in the Northern Sun Conference. She started 17 of 25 games that she's played in for the Bulldogs this year, averaging 8.6 per game with a career high of 23 against Southeast Oklahoma. Season high of 8 boards a couple of times and 5 assists twice. Scored in double figures in 12 of 25 games. Avery Borowski, who's a junior over at St. Norbert, they're 21-4 overall and 15-1 in the Northern Athletics Conference. Has played in all 25 games for the Green Knights, averaging 6.2 a game. And she's shooting 58% from the field and 83% from the line. Oakley Wittick, who is also a junior at St. Norbert's, played in all 25 games with 3 starts for the Knights this season, averaging 5 points per game, and a season high of 13, shooting 53% from the floor and 70% from the free throw line. Ball games from this past Tuesday. New London all over Sheboygan North. Or check that, Sheboygan North over Waukesha North-South, 48-40. New London all over Green Bay Southwest, 90-13. Plymouth, big time over Sheboygan South, 48-21. Ball games here tonight at the regional level. Bayport hosts Germantown. Notre Dame hosts Green Bay Preble. Luxembourg Casco is hosting Pulaski. Ashwaubenon hosts Menasha. And Kimberly, the number 2 seed in the sectional, host Sheboygan North. The Week 13 WIS Sportsnet Girl Basketball Coaches Poll. Number 1, Pewaukee at 22-2. Number 2, Arrowhead, 21-3. Number 3, Kimberly at 23-1. Number 5, Brookfield East at 21-3. Redbirds are at number 6, 21-3. Number 7, Muskego at 20-4. Number 8, Homestead at 18-6. Number 9, Verona at 22-2. And rounding out the top 10 is Eau Claire Memorial at 22-2. Final FRCC stats for the girls. De Pere ran the table. They ended up at 18-0. Notre Dame in second, 15-3. Bayport at 13-5. Both Green Bay Preble and Ashwaubenon at 11-7. Manitowoc Lincoln, who are playing tonight, at 10-8. Sheboygan North at 6-12. Pulaski 4-14. Sheboygan South at 2-16. And Green Bay Southwest was winless in conference this year at 0-18. Top 5 scorers in the conference this year: Peyton Musio from Notre Dame averages 20.5 a game. Malia Lemeron from Bayport, 17.5. Sarah Bolgen from Manitowoc, 16.5. Olivia Williams from Bayport, 14.4. And Gianna Garasio from Ashwaubenon at 13.6. On the rebounding end, Lily Herbert from Sheboygan South averaged 8.7 to place first in conference. Caitlin Thomas from Bayport at 8.2. Maddie Johnson from Manitowoc at 8 per game. And Eva Quincia from Manitowoc, 6.7. And Malia Lemeron rounding out the top 5 at 6.8. And we are going to take a quick break, hear from some of our sponsors, and we'll be back.
Then it's time for the best pizza in Wisconsin. Get Gallagher's Pizza dine-in, delivery, and all-you-can-eat lunch buffets at any of our 4 locations. And don't forget to feed the office with our corporate orders. Gallagher's Pizza, the best pizza in Wisconsin.
Good evening and welcome to DePere High School and Rod Kowalczyk Court for tonight's WIAA Regional Semifinal contest between the visiting Manitowoc Ships and your DePere Redbirds, alongside studio engineer Paul Roop, color analyst extraordinaire Cale Coleman. My name is Mark Mino, and I'm excited to bring you this evening's game from the Gallagher's Pizza broadcast booth. Coach Boyle and the Birds capped off an impressive season, going 18-0 and 21-3 overall, and earning the number 5 in a loaded sectional. And the Birds have been really good since the start of 2025, going 14-0 and only allowing 2 opponents to crack the 50-point barrier. On the season, Pere has only allowed 39 a game while scoring at just over 68 per game. For Riley Garb and the Ships, this young team has been up and down the whole year, going 6-0 to start the season, then losing their next 5. They finished the year at 14-10 and 10-8 overall in the FRCC. Guard duo of Sarah Bolchin and Kendall Schmitz have led the Ships in scoring at 16.5 and 13.3 per game. The Ships finished last year at 13-12 with a regional semifinal loss to DSHA 59-48. The Birds and Ships played a couple of times last year, with Pere winning both games 78-39 and 64-51. Starters for the Ships tonight: Maddie Johnson, a 5'9 senior; Sarah Bolchin, a 5'5 junior; Kendall Schmitz, a 5'4 sophomore; Eva Quincia, a 5'9 junior; and Taylor Peterson, a 5'8 junior. For the Redbirds, same crew: Addie Dwyer, 5'7 sophomore; Egan Borowski, a 5'8 senior; Aubrey Fisher, a 5'9 sophomore; Jaden Shashelsek, a 5'8 senior; and Abby Tussle, a 5'5 junior. Officials for tonight's contest are Kyle Christensen, Mark Jandrin, and Casey Pavanka. So sit back, relax, enjoy the game as Pere and Manitowoc tip off right after the national anthem, and starting lineups from PA announcer Dan Van Stratton.
And welcome to Rod Kowalczyk Court on the campus of DePere High School for tonight's WIAA Regional Semifinal matchup featuring the Manitowoc Lady Shipbuilders and your DePere Redbirds. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please stand if you are able? Remove your hats and place your hand over your heart. We ask that you remember those who have served and those who continue to serve, protecting the freedoms we enjoy each day, as we join the Desert Veterans of Wisconsin for the presentation of colors. And now let's join the Redbird Pep Band and honor this great nation with the playing of our national anthem. Fans, please welcome our officials for tonight's game, Kyle Christensen, Mark Janrin, and Casey Pavonka. And now, from the shores of Lake Michigan, please welcome the Manitowoc Lincoln Shipbuilders. The Ships are led by head coach Marley Garvey. Let's meet tonight's starting lineup in junior, number 0, Sarah Bolchin.
SoCal tournament time, doesn't matter if it's boys or girls, right? So obviously you've been in some big ball games in the WIAA tournament. What do you think is kind of going through the girls' minds as far as preparation, and just sort of thinking forward, right? Like, okay, what happens after tonight, depending on a win or a loss? What's kind of going through their minds right now?
Yeah, well, best time of the year, Mark, right? I mean, it's tough to really get better than this. But I think if you're a senior, right? You kind of feel like this is your time. This is it, right? This is the last chance. It could be your last game, and so you really want to focus on embracing the time that you have with your teammates, and then the opportunity to go out and prove it. And this is where champions, legends, things that you can share memories with for the rest of your life with your friends and your teammates in these memories tonight. So if you're a senior, right? I mean, this is all the youth the time you've put in. It all culminates in March this year. And if you're a junior or a sophomore or a freshman, and it's exciting, right? Because you set goals typically at the beginning of the season, and it's, hey, we want to win. We want to win games. We want to get better. We want to be a conference champion. Yep. And we want to be a state champion, right? Yeah. And so that starts here tonight. There you go.
And certainly DePere, as we talked about in the pregame show a little bit, probably a little bit overlooked coming in. I think the loss of Bjorg and Hafman last year, probably thinking who's going to get the scoring done. But, we've seen DePere really have that balance. They don't have anybody that's over 14 points a game, and they've just relied on, really it's kind of a collective group. Each night, one girl can lead the Redbirds, but everybody is kind of in that group. So,
well, it's a reload.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what Redbird basketball does, and there's a ton of underclassmen on this roster. There were last year, and so they're getting their chance to shine here this season and now tonight as we head into March in a loaded sectional for the girls.
You see turnover first time down for Manitowoc, and DePere does the same on their first possession. Schmitz is quickly into the front court, and she's tripped. Early foul by Abby. She's going to check. Yeah, that was on Abby. It's going to be her first personal. Team first. So again, Abby's got her hands full as Kendall Schmitz, the 5'4" sophomore, is really developing into a nice player. High ball screen for Peterson. Pick up her dribbles, going to need a little help as Bolchin comes to the rescue, top of the key. Long triple on the way, finds nothing but the bottom of the net as Peterson goes distance and the Ships strike first as they're up 3-0. We're 1 minute in here in the first half.
Well, and you asked about what does it mean now that you're in March, right? It's a little bit nervous too, right? And
right.
Not for Peterson. She comes out and nails one from deep.
Long triple on the way as Shelsick goes backboard. Don't apologize for that. They count the same as we're knotted up at 3. Twisting drive by Bolchin as she gets into the lane, finishes with the right hand. Birds will be sit here in the half court. As Dwyer goes down the lane, throws away a bounce pass. Ships quickly front court. Schmidt's a little bit of trouble. Long triple on the way, front rim, no good by Peterson as Tossel comes away with it. Quick push, dump off to Borowski, and that one's going to roll out of bounds. Third turnover here early for Pere. Certainly had a good run. I'd like to almost see Abby take that in a little bit, right? I mean, I know she had, Egan open, but that might have been an opportunity maybe to draw the defender in a little bit.
Well, I just mentioned nerves, right? And Pere favored to win in this game. Manitowoc coming out like they're playing with nothing to lose. They just look way more fluid, way more open right now. They're attacking, they're getting good shots. And Pere, there's a turnover, right? Little hesitant.
Euro step coming through from Bolchin after the layup, from Peterson after Bolchin scored earlier, and the Ships bolting out here to a 9-3 lead. And there we've got another turnover as Fisher can't handle the post feed, and Jeremy Boileau is going to call an early timeout. 15-13 to play. Ships up 9-3, and it's going to be a 30-second, but we will hear from one of our sponsors.
Timeout, team here. This is a 30.
Luxury vinyl floors are waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof, so they can stand up to real-life conditions. You'll find the largest selection at Mako's. Do it yourself or trust our guaranteed installation. Mako's, your premier flooring center. Now that's value.
And we are back at Pere High School in Rod Kowalczyk Court, joined courtside by Cale Coleman and Mark Mino. We've got a little different camera angle as we were shooting on the opposite side of the court. Steve Krieger is manning the camera up top, so the Redbirds are going left to right from our vantage point. The Ships obviously going right to left.
Yeah, Pere just not quite in this one, right? That last possession, Tussle has it on the right wing. She's got the ball up over her head. Pere sets up, gets a good play for Fisher coming. It's just a little bit of a lazy pass, right? I mean, that's that where you take one more dribble to the baseline, you improve your passing angle, dump it down. We got the right player in the right spot to get a good shot. Pere just, they're like a step slow to start this thing.
And there we saw that step slow as Abby picks up her second. And Neuenfeld checks in, the freshman, as Abby's going to have to grab a seat. That's certainly concerning for the Redbirds as you're taking out your leading playmaker. And
a lot of what they do goes through her.
So long two on the way. That's going to be a 2 as Maddie Johnson with an 18-footer. She's got her first bucket. Ships up 11-3. And another turnover by Shashelsik as Peterson gets in the way. Dump off over to Bolchin, and she lays it off the window, and the Ships up 10.
Can't imagine 13-3. A much better start for the Ships. They have to be thrilled with the way they've come out to start this one.
Neuenfeld charging down the lane, and she had an and one opportunity, goes off the back rim. As we're going to have first foul is going to be on Maddie Johnson, her first, team first, as Neuenfeld's going to head the line for 2 to hopefully maybe put a bandage on this bleeding right now.
Well, it's great energy off the bench, right? She gets in.
Just checks
first time she touches the ball, she's looking to attack, and that's a key when you're starting to struggle offensively. You've got a couple turnovers. You really want to get it into the paint, right, and start your offense in enemy territory. And then even if you don't get it to the rim like she was able to, now you've got the defense collapse. You can drive and kick for 3 as opportunities, or play an inside out as we call it.
Yep.
So it's important that the Pere's gotta look to get it inside. They can't keep playing 20 feet from the rim on the perimeter.
Neuenfeld knocks down both free throws, cuts that deficit to 8-14, closing on 14 to play here first half. We have a turnover as Fisher gets her hand on that one to force the turnover to Shelsik in the front court. Borowski, right wing, takes a peek, gets that one knocked away. Kendall Schmidt with the active hands. There's that dump down that we were talking about, right? That base dribble to that baseline, get the post feed, and we're rewarded with a foul on Manitowoc. As Maddie Johnson did pick up her team second, so a little bit of an equalizer there as far as getting Tossel out, and now Maddie Johnson's going to have to take a seat.
Yeah, that makes it really interesting when you have 2 players that a lot of what both teams are trying to do offensively flows through those 2.
Right.
Now, how do you adjust to it, right?
Bodies on the floor, look like 8 of the 10 on the court. We're on the floor is going to be a jump ball, and DePure's going to reset underneath their own basket. Again, just plain, right, not typical DePure basketball there. You saw the entry there on that baseline out of bounds. Just not real fluid with their action here so far.
No, and we saw it a little bit in the last possession. Coach WIAA tried to trap that first pass, which I like, trying to get a spark, create something.
Dwyer stepped through, nice finish with the right hand. She's got her first bucket, 13-7 Manitowoc.
Yeah, Dwyer's so athletic. She's able to control her body, stay on balance, and take the contact but still finish.
And that's hard to do, right? I mean, for a girl especially, to stay on balance.
Yes, and going weak side, right, to her offhand.
Yep. Bolchin, a little runner, come up a little short as Borowski pulls down the rebound. 12:30 to play here, first half. Birds down by 6. Dwyer, a little give and go, goes window with the right hand. She's got 4, and we've got a timeout on Manitowoc's side as they need to talk about as the Birds have whittled 5 off this lead, and we will hear from one of our sponsors.
Pella, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. And with a 10-year labor warranty, your windows and doors are worry-free for years to come. If something goes wrong, we're here to handle it because you work with the same team from start to finish. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 72 months. Visit PellaWI.com today.
And welcome back to DePere High School in Rock Walchik Court. We'd also like to thank our basketball booster club sponsors for the support that they give boys and girls basketball throughout the year. Green Bay Family Dentistry, Nicolay Bank, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, Muleman's Electric, Greystone Ale House, Harmon Studios, Chicago Street Pub, Mako's Floor Covering Center, Gallagher's, and Exhaust Pros. And after the ball game tonight, head over to Greystone, 5th quarter, talk some basketball, get something to eat, something to drink, enjoy your Friday evening. And we'd also like to thank all of the people from the Manitowoc and DePere community for tuning in to DePere Athletics on YouTube and watching tonight's WIAA Regional Semifinal. Earlier game where we had Manitowoc in our field house, they were just a lot more uncomfortable offensively, but we're not sensing that here tonight. They've got a lot of confidence. Bolchin throws up a wild right-hander. Maybe got tripped going in.
No, but a little bit different feel with both teams having their leading scorer on the bench in early foul trouble.
Yep. Borowski, right wing triple, front rim, no good. Neuenfeld cleans up the mess and sticks it back. Good finish by the freshman. She's got 4, and we're down to a 2-point ship lead.
And it's just great energy off the bench for Neuenfeld. But that was inside-out basketball right there, Mark, right? The Pere's able to get the ball in. They collapse. They get a one more pass for a wide-open shooter. Doesn't go in, but now you've created long box outs, and that's a difficult spot for the defense to rebound out of.
As Eichmann had that ball rejected and Borowski came out of the pile with it, as Shashelsik will push front court. Dwyer right side. That ball a little on the inside as Borowski battles Schmitz for that possession. Borowski will try it left side, knocks it down. Yes, ma'am, as Egan is on the board with their first 3, and the Redbirds are on top by 1. Eichmann, good drive and gets one to go as the 5'9" freshman gets her first bucket. Shelsik breaking the timeline. Neuenfeld with the top left. Shelsik on top, whips it over to Dwyer, and that ball nearly picked off.
They're not doing anything special with ball pressure. It's just a couple times the Redbirds look like they thought they were wearing red tonight.
There you go. As Fisher breaks that and goes in with the left hand, she's got her first bucket. Birds back up by 1. That ball's going to be a turnover and over and back as Lila Spaeth threw that one away. As Spaeth and Washington check in for the Redbirds. And Hannah Conard and David Kuchia check in for Manitowoc. Kale, if you're coaching here and you're in Coach Boileau's shoes, right, you got Abby picking up the first 2 fouls as Shelsik triple back rim, no good. There's Neuenfeld again battling for that rebound. A couple of players going to the floor. We're going to have a jump ball as Manitowoc is going to get possession. So he's got Abby on the bench. 2 fouls, are you just like, hey, you got to be smart not to pick up 3? Or do you let her sit there for a little bit or the rest of the first half?
I think it depends a little bit on the situation. It wasn't like she played super solid while you had her in there. And so maybe, kind of sitting out the first half re-engages her to come out in that second half. And now she's got 3 fouls. She doesn't have to play tentative. And she was a little tentative when she had the ball out early. So in this case, I probably hold off.
Okay.
Had she come out and, been diving on the floor and just had a couple points and had some things going, might be a different situation. But so I think there's a lot of that situational, right?
Yep. Oh, nice little step through by Peterson. Doesn't get it to go, and we're going to have Neuenfeld collecting that rebound, and she's going to get whacked on the head.
And I think to that point, right, Manitowoc comes back in with Peterson, who had a couple buckets early. She kind of had the game going, was a big reason that they jumped out to that 10-point lead. So you're much more likely to bring her back on the floor, who's already kind of been in the flow of the game.
Yep. Spaeth picking up the ball in not a great spot as Bolchin was all over her. Nice look by Neuenfeld going left side. And she's got 6 as the Birds up 3. Closing down on 8 minutes to play here in the first half. Turnover, Ships. Dwyer will push front court. Looking for some help as Neuenfeld gets it, goes over to Washington, and Shelsik in the right corner. Spaeth, triple, back rim no good. There's Neuenfeld again, all over the place, just using her athleticism. Got the rebound, went to the floor, unfortunately out of bounds.
What a lift off the bench for Energy's been tonight.
Borowski checks in for Dwyer. Triple on the way by Schmitz. Left the wing, no good. Borowski with the rebound, gives to Spaeth. Up to Borowski, left wing. Shelsik on top between the wheels. Nice student section both ways. Jersey night theme for the Ship student section. Neuenfeld charging on the lane, tries the right hand, no good. And she's going to pick up the foul after going after that offensive rebound. But I like it. I mean, again, energy play, getting after it, and certainly trying to create some opportunities.
Yeah, it was a good attack. She got tripped up kind of on her own feet, it looked like, and got herself off balance. But that, that's going to be her role, right? Come in, provide energy. She's been able to create some things offensively tonight.
That ball is fired off by Conchia. Turnover, and Borowski's going to have the easy run out. And she's going to knock an easy opportunity off the backboard for her first two. Birds up by 5, closing in on 6 to play here in the first half. Good back cut by Conchia. She's going to get, they're going to call her for a travel. Didn't see a ton of possession there. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think she really ever had the ball.
We'll take it. Turnover Ships is Manitowoc going to pick up some full court. Spaeth thought about a top of the key. She was going to reverse the ball, ended up having a back cut. One of her teammates went into the lane and just threw that ball out of bounds.
Johnson returning for the Ships.
It's an unusually sloppy game for the Redbirds offensively thus far.
Yeah. As Maddie Johnson checks in for the Ships, and she'll have to be careful. She's got a couple of fouls.
Yeah, the Ships, I'm trying to think. I mean, when did Pere call that timeout? They've had 2 points in the last 10 minutes of game time.
Spaeth with the rebound. Birds quickly front court. Yeah, they've had a big time drought for sure. Yeah, just a little bit disorganized. Kids trying to make plays here, but yeah, certainly not fluid on offense.
And Spaeth missed that first one. I feel like she's had 2 open looks at 3 that she's kind of passed on. They're just playing tentative right now. A nice set there by Manitowoc. Got the low cross screen.
Bolchin is, she's thinking offense every time that she gets that ball, and she certainly had a good opportunity down there. Yeah, Shelsik picks up her first personal, and she'll head to the line for a couple.
Neuenfeld back into the Redbirds, replacing Spaeth.
Neuenfeld in for Spaeth for the Redbirds. Bolchin shoots at about 75% from the line. And she has money on both, closing that gap to 3 just under 5 to play here first half. Birds 20, Ships 17.
And to me, I think that's going to be really important for Manitowoc is can they continue to get to the line, because that's like a mini timeout. And I think the depth and the pace that the Pere plays at can really wear a team down in the second half. And so especially with that run Manitowoc had at the start of it, you exert a lot of energy. You got all this excitement because it's the first postseason game. And now how do you manage that for 36 minutes?
Right. Fisher corner triple, a little crooked. Chia comes down with the rebound.
But I like that block-to-block action. I think I'd try and go back to that if I'm the Ships.
Long triple on the way by Bolchin, no good, as Fisher comes down with the rebound, and she'll hang on to it and cross half court. Yeah, that probably looked like a little more of a settle for Manitowoc on that last possession. It's like, oh, okay, I got a 3, but I don't know if we need a 23-footer at that.
No, and you didn't really move the defense, right? It came off one reversal. Jeremy halfway on the floor trying to get a timeout here. As
we've got a 30-second timeout, just enough time to hear from one of our sponsors.
Timeout, Team Pere. This is a 30-second timeout.
Then it's time for the best pizza in Wisconsin. Get Gallagher's Pizza dine-in, delivery, and all-you-can-eat lunch buffets at any of our 4 locations. And don't forget to feed the office with our corporate orders. Gallagher's Pizza, the best pizza in Wisconsin.
Welcome back to the Pere High School and Rod Kowalczyk Court. It just wouldn't be a ball game if Dan Van Straten did not play Earth, Wind, and Fire. And like I said, it's gonna require a team effort to get that thing removed from his iPad. But it's something that, yeah, and there he is. It's just tormenting me all season. Well, really, the whole time that we've been doing this. Thank you, Steve Krieger, for the close-up there of the Darth Vader of PA announcers when it comes to songs. All right, we're back to action.
Tussle back into the game for the Redbirds here.
Yeah, and they're going to get Dwyer on that little corner triple opportunity. Usually run that for Jaden. Dump down, Avery double teamed, and we are going to have no jump ball as Dwyer comes out of the fray, and she's going to draw the foul on Kendall Schmitz, her first, team's 4th.
I don't know what it is, Mark. It kind of seems like everything's happening in slow motion tonight, doesn't it? It's just like it's a half step slow.
Yeah, it's just a struggle. I mean, everything, that set that they ran out of the timeout, they usually get a really good look in the corner, but Manitowoc had that thing scouted out really well, and just no opportunity for Dwyer to let go of 3.
But you still end up with a great post feed, and then the ball's kind of fumbling around on the ground, and
a quick burst of energy, and looked like Maddie Johnson might have gotten a piece of that one, but as she went up to get the rebound, stepped on the baseline as Eichmann and Quinchia check in for the Ships.
Well, that was a great attack there by Dwyer, but what a block from Johnson, rotating and bothering the shot. Unfortunately she stepped out, but a really nice defensive play.
Yeah, and they're going to give Abby the turnover, as that had to be a stationary throw-in, and unfortunately she ran the baseline a little bit.
Yeah, it's just uncharacteristic DPR basketball right now. I don't know what's going on. Is that a full moon tonight or something?
I know it's going to get cold tomorrow. Ooh, triple on the way.
Nice move. Yep. Uses the jab step to create space.
Schmitz knocks down the 3, and we're knotted up at 20.
We had a great line on that one, and that thing never left the middle of the basket.
As Borowski gets loose and goes right side, and she's going to get rewarded with a couple of free throws. As Bolchin picks up her first, team's 5th.
Borowski shooting 2.
Back rim, no good. As Shelsick's going to check in. We're going to see a replay on that triple. As Kale said, that thing had a great line. Never went left or right, just straight in. See if Egan can split these. And she does, and she's got 6. So Birds go back out on top. 21-20. We're closing in on 2 minutes to play here first half.
Well, familiar FRCC foes. Always tough to beat a team 3 times in a season, isn't it, Mark?
You bet. And we've certainly narrowed that gap, particularly at their place. I think it was pretty much a tight ball game until we ended up pulling away in the second half, 1 by 13. Nice little step through by Peterson. Ball's tipped out of bounds to go to Pere way. .140 to play here first half. To Pere up 21-20, a little bit of a sloppy game. Shelsik goes up, and that ball is rejected by Peterson. Ball's going to roll out of bounds. To Pere ball.
And a great play from Peterson as she stays tall, right? Doesn't bring the hands down and foul on that follow through, but is able to block the shot in recovery. As the Selchuk had her beat.
Step back. The free throw line, no good. Borowski corrals a rebound. Tussle thought about a 3. Dwyer, right side. We're going to have a block on Eichmann. As we're going to see a replay of that, and a nice block by Peterson for the Ships. Manitowoc with 6 fouls. Here with 5. Tussle, triple, got it. Maybe that takes the lid off as Tussle gets her first bucket. Birds up 4, almost 1 minute to play here first half.
But inside out basketball again, Mark. The drive by Dwyer gets Tussle into a good spot, and that's a room and rhythm shot for a good shooter.
Ooh, we had it locked up on the top as Schmitz and Dwyer got into it, but it'll stay Ships basketball. Good look by some of the Pure boys in the student section. Big win over the Ships last night, or excuse me, over Notre Dame. Pure overcame an 18-point deficit in the second half and pulled away to go to 18-0, just like the girls 18-0 this year in the FRCC.
That was a instant class. That was an ESPN Classic instant replay. I don't know if you remember that, Mark.
Sure.
You could tune in before streaming and all that, yep. Right? And you had to watch the game the next day. Those were the good old days.
Connor was a little crooked on that 3, and the Birds see if Coach Boileau has them work it here for 1. Shelsik is pounding the ball just past half court. We're at 10. Neuenfeld, strong drive, right hand, going to the floor, and she gets it. She's up to 8, 3 on the clock. Running 3 on the way by Schmitz, no good, and we are at halftime as the Pere with a somewhat, and I put air quotes around that, comfortable lead, 26-20 at halftime, as we're going to step away for a couple of minutes, and we'll be back with leading scorers on both teams right after this.
Luxury vinyl floors are waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof, so they can stand up to real-life conditions. You'll find the largest selection at Mako's. Do it yourself or trust our guaranteed installation. Mako's, your premier flooring center. Now that's value.
Welcome back to De Pere High School, Rod Kowalczyk Court. Gail Coleman and Mark Mino. I'll run down the scores first for the visiting Ships. Leading the way is Sarah Bolchin. She had 6. Taylor Peterson with 5. Kendall Schmitz also with 5. And Maddie Johnson and Kayla Eichmann each with 2. Gives them 20. For the Redbirds, Allie Neuenfeld, big boost off the bench. She had 8 first half points. Egan Borowski with a 3, a 2, and a 1. She ends up with 6. Addie Dwyer had 4. Jane Shashelsik and Abby Tussle had 3. Abby had a couple of fouls early, limited her minutes. And Aubrey Fisher also had 2. 26-20 to Pere Kale. We were talking about this a little bit off air. Again, De Pere got off to the real sluggish start. Manitowoc had all the energy. Then you can kind of see a little bit of that flip. Still not a super clean half for De Pere, but they're able to kind of right themselves a little bit. And the offense looked a little bit better in the second half of the first half, but still a little bit of work to do here to come away with a win. Yeah,
and I expect that they will play in a better rhythm to start the second half. De Pere's still not on the floor, right? I'm sure that they're having a very inspiring halftime conversation right now.
Yeah.
But it's 26-20, right? 6-point game.
Yep.
Bench points right now. De Pere 8, Manitowoc 2.
Yep.
That's the difference in the game. It's really been Neuenfeld off the bench, right? Her 8, her spark lifted this Redbird team and has gotten them back into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and you saw that lift immediately with Allie when she came off the bench. She was just in aggressive mode, and she got to the rim, created some issues, fighting for rebounds, and that's really kind of what got De Pere, shook the rust off a little bit and got them going. Again, still not a real clean first half. They had a lot of turnovers, didn't shoot particularly well, but you could see them on the defensive end. They picked it up a little bit. You could see a little bit of that wind come out of Manitowoc sails as the first half went on, and especially when they exerted so much energy to start the game.
Well, 2/3 of their points came in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you're the Ships, right, how do you capitalize on that? In basketball is a game of runs, but you do need a little consistency in between the big ones, and hopefully you have more big ones than the other team. But, and you really use that momentum to go on a couple runs.
Right.
But you can't have those big lulls like the Ships did, especially when De Pere's not playing basketball to the level that we've seen this year. And part of that was credit to the Ships. They were out in passing lanes early. They created a couple easy turnovers. They got themselves transition points. They didn't have to run offense. All they had to do was run down the floor and shoot a layup.
Yeah. And an update from Brookfield East is Brookfield East is up 26-9 over Hamilton, and that is a second half score. So Brookfield East certainly handling Hamilton. As the Redbirds will get an opportunity to get on the scoreboard here first in the second half.
I thought maybe we'd see a set coming out of halftime. I had a look for Fisher there on the block, but a congestion by the Redbirds.
Tussle, little pull-up 16-footer back rim, little strong. Shashelsik fighting for the rebound. The Birds will get a second opportunity here. Shashelsik snaps off a triple front rim and back rim, no good. As Conchia pulls down the rebound. Schmitz, triple, no good. Shashelsik rips down the rebound. She's going to push right down the middle of the floor. Borowski, triple, back rim, and out. As Schmitz pulls down the rebound, and she's hung up there momentarily by Shashelsik as she passes the timeline. Nice cut. Conchia with a pretty easy look as Tassel comes out with the rebound, and she's going to, we got to tie up right in front of the Ships, and we're going to have a jump ball. Ooh. I don't know about that. Anyway, ball's going to be here for Manitowoc. Didn't look like maybe Tussle.
Didn't even look like she was touching the ball.
Johnson rolled over. She had it, and they called a jump ball. Well,
I actually thought they were going to call somebody being out of bounds.
Yeah. Or if anything, maybe Tussle jumping on her for maybe your third personal. But we're going to play on here in the half court. Oh, good back cut. And Chia just handles it. She ends up turning out. Not quite a turnover. Ships will regain. Bolchin on the shot, faking the step through, goes up right hand, no good. Borowski pulls down the rebound. Tassel quickly front court on the right side. She'll leave to Egan, back to Abby. 16 to play here in the ball game. Birds by 6. Crossover. Shelsik goes to the floor hard. Triple on the way by Tussle. Got it, left wing. The Birds are up 9 as Abby's got 6.
Well, that's a really nice offensive possession for the Redbirds. We've seen it again now where they've got in the lane. They've thrown it out. They've made that one more pass to Tussle. Open 3, knocks it down.
As Schmitz went down the lane and she gets tripped up. You see a replay. Tassel nails the triple. Good look by Abby. Yeah, Shelsik picks up her second personal. Abby with the good hands. She picks off that pass, but she actually steps on the sideline. Maybe got a little body action by Lila Spaeth. Giving her a left hip out of bounds. Going to be turnover Redbirds after the steal. Bolchin, long 3. Got it. Left wing as Bolchin dials up one from distance, and she's got 9, pulling the Ships to within 6.
Pere went to trap that first pass, but it's a tough place when the wing is that low. It's a long way to cover for that trapper if they are able to get the ball out.
As Egan gets loose for the layup, the feed by Dwyer. But Bolchin is a handful out on top. They just cannot get her under wraps as Dwyer picks up her first, team seconds.
She got the Redbird defense turned, and they went with both hands to the hip, and that's going to be a call every time. An easy one for the official.
Ooh. Bolchin turns it over as Shelsik picks it. Then we've got a scramble on the floor. Going to have another jump ball as Bolchin and Fisher go to the floor. Going to be jump ball possession over to Pere.
I really like to see Pere come down in a set and something to get Fisher on the block and get her going a little bit. There have been times where I feel like she's blown games open for the Redbirds this year, where when she gets going and she can get a couple easy things inside, all of a sudden it takes it from an 8-point to maybe a 16 double-digit.
Jaden triple left wing goes left of the rim. Schmitz collects and she'll push in a hurry left side. Boy, Manitowoc's got some pieces to build around. They get both, Peterson and Schmitz and Bolchin. They get them back next year. See Kayla Eichmann, the freshman, coming off the bench. So they've got some kids. Peterson goes window, no good.
Yeah, you can tell Eichmann's got some game, right?
Oh, yeah.
She's a good-looking player coming off.
Nice feed. Borowski front rim and good. Nice dump down by Fisher as Borowski cuts down the lane with the easy layup.
Fisher's so dangerous when she catches the ball in that spot because she can score, but that's a beautiful facilitation right there.
Yep. We're going to have a timeout by Manitowoc, and it's going to be full. Redbirds with their biggest lead by 10, and we will hear from one of our sponsors.
Pella, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. And with a 10-year labor warranty, your windows and doors are worry-free for years to come. If something goes wrong, we're here to handle it because you work with the same team from start to finish. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 72 months. Visit PellaWI.com today.
And welcome back to the Pere High School Rod Kowalczyk Court. Cale Coleman and Mark Mino, and we were just talking about Cale's influence on the game on the floor, talking about getting it into Fisher somehow, some way, and obviously she dials up an easy assist for Borowski on the cut. But yeah, to your point, she's such a valuable weapon down on that block. She can see the floor. She can do some things offensively. So, and there we saw a good example of that.
But she draws help, and then I love diving the cutter from the top of the key because you really put the defense in a compromised position. If you don't bring two, she's able to score it, but she passes it really well. But then the other thing is, if she kicks it out, now you're in a scramble rebound situation, and she's so active on the glass. There have been times where, you know, she'll come up in a second, third chance of a possession and end up with an easy bucket that way.
Schmitz is covered up by Dwyer. Bolchin getting loose and goes with the right hand as the junior is going to draw the foul. It's going to be on the floor.
Foul number 12, Aubrey Fisher.
As Fisher picks up her first, team's third. Triple on the way, Bolchin. Front rim no good. Long rebound comes down to Shelsik. Quick push up to Dwyer. Thought about a triple. Birds will reset. We see a little more fluid motion, right? And there we just talked about it. Fisher getting an opportunity after some side top side, getting the defense to move, and Fisher really with an uncontested layup.
Yeah, and good patience there. As you saw, Dwyer had a pretty good look for her, passed up on it, got the ball swung a couple times, and then got an easy basket for Fisher.
Good extra pass. Schmitz with a triple, and that one is good right in front of the Manitowoc bench. She pulls the Ships to within 9. And quick transition basket. Aubrey Fisher, the benefactor, running the floor and getting the easy layup. She's got 6.
Yeah, that's good heads-up play by Tussle to get it up. She saw that Manitowoc was a little slow getting back on defense.
Long triple front rim, no good by Peterson as Tussle collects. Good find, Borowski to Fisher as Fisher runs the floor. She's up to 8 on the good assist by Borowski. Kale, she's just turning into your favorite player. Oh, and we're going to get a foul on Tussle. Looked like all ball.
I'll take no credit for that.
There you go.
Oh,
they're going to give Fisher the second.
Strictly an observation.
There you go.
I thought she could get a little more involved in the game. And credit to her for finding a way, but running the floor. Yep. And that's, I mean, it makes it a lot easier as a big when you're running the floor and you're getting rewarded.
Right.
You're going to keep doing that.
Yep. As Dwyer and Fisher check out, and Neuenfeld and Washington both in for the Redbirds.
And you had mentioned it in the pregame, but the balanced scoring that this De Pere team has. You've got Fisher with 8, Neuenfeld with 8, Borowski with 10. It's not like you're reliant on someone to go get 20 points in a night.
Yeah.
It can come from so many different places.
Yep, and I think that's what's going to make them a difficult out is, you know, they really can't key on one person. Borowski tries the left side, and she's going to get that shot blocked by Johnson, and also going to pick up the foul. Because that's going to be her first, De Pere's 5th. So they got 2 more, and the Ships are in the bonus. The Ships have yet to commit a foul here in the second half.
It's good rotation by Maddie Johnson to sag into the lane and help on Borowski. Got the block, and then able to be strong and compound the turnover with a foul against the Redbirds.
Birds by 12, 10:40 to play here in the ball game. Schmitz gets tied up. Boy, it appeared pretty solid here defensively on this possession. As we're going to have the turnover on that dump-off pass by Peterson.
Manitowoc was never really able to get the ball swung, though. I mean, they made some good passes, but didn't really change sides of the floor. And that allowed Pere to be as solid defensively as they were.
Shelsik barrels down the right side of the lane, going up with the right hand. She draws the foul. Is going to have the line for a couple as Natalie Johnson picks up her third, team's first.
And Johnson was there and help again, but just a half a step late.
So there's a beautiful shot of our athletic director, Jeff Bizek, rocking the white to Pere swag. I thought he was at a hockey game. No? Well, maybe. I don't know.
He's everywhere. The Ice Bears, they're in the postseason, right?
Yeah. I don't know if the boys, I'm not sure if they, boys hockey, if they got knocked out or if they're still in. I'm not sure which one he was at here tonight. Oh, we're going to have a legal screen. That was going to be on Kendall Schmitz. That's her second. Team second. Birds by 13, 9:37 to play here in the ball game. Alley right side, a little strong with the right hand. And Schmitz coughed it up, and Eichmann picked up the loose change, and she's going to draw the fall. That one's going to be on Washington, her first, team sixth.
You can just tell by the way Eichmann moves. She's going to be fun to watch the next couple of years. They're battling down low for the ball.
Good extra pass. Quinchia triple back rim, no good. And there you saw Maddie Johnson pull down that offensive rebound. Bolchin will pry down, dribble crossover right, no good as Dwyer rips down the rebound. She's tied up by Bolchin. Gives it up to Tassel. She'll push right over that Redbird circle. Dump down to Washington. She's tripped, loses the ball as Bolchin comes away with it. Eight minutes to play here in the ball game. Birds by 13, 40-27. Three on the way. Front rim no good by Bolchin.
Great box out by Dwyer on that backside.
And they're going to give that fall to Eichmann. She picks up her seconds, team's third, as Borowski and Fisher check in for Washington and Shelsik.
Peterson now in for Manitowoc.
Nice to see Damon Ryan from WOMT calling the radio broadcast for the Ships. Fun fact, Cale, he used to call my games in high school. That's how long that dude.
Two Rivers?
Two Rivers. That's how long that guy has been shouting into a microphone. He is a legend in the Lakeshore area, and certainly nice to see him tonight. Neuenfeld tries the left hand, and she gets that one swatted out by Peterson. Ooh, nice step through. There's that one more pass for Bolchin, and she knocks down the triple just right in the circle. She's in the double figures with 12 and closes that gap to 10.
Bolchin does a great job of getting her work done early. She catches, ready to shoot. When that ball hits her in the pocket, there's a high probability it's going in.
Tussle, triple left wing, back rim no good. Fight for the rebound. Borowski gets it. Quick kick to the top. Tussle, try again, straight on and in for Abby. We've got a timeout on the floor by Coach Boyle and the Redbirds, as the Redbirds are up 13, and we're going to hear from one of our sponsors.
Then it's time for the best pizza in Wisconsin. Get Gallagher's Pizza dine-in, delivery, and all-you-can-eat lunch buffets at any of our 4 locations. And don't forget to feed the office with our corporate orders. Gallagher's Pizza, the best pizza in Wisconsin.
And we are back at Spear High School Rod Kowalczyk Court. Cale Coleman and Mark Nino courtside. Paul Roop pushing all the buttons on whatever he's doing over there. Steve Krieger giving us the close-up of DePere and the bench and the timeout action, as the Redbirds are up 13 with 6:46 to play here in the ball game.
It's hard to watch those Gallagher's Pizza commercials and not be hungry. I mean, that looks so good.
I am, like I said, I am such a fan of their monster pizza, not only because it probably has the most calories, but there's like bacon inside of bacon. That's how awesome that pizza
right up
is.
your alley.
Yeah. Trying to get a score on that Brookfield East game. My phone decided not to update, so we'll see if we can pass that along here shortly. 43-30 to Pere. Kendall Schmitz will get things organized here for the Ships. Ooh, kind of a little reverse layup by Bolchin's a little bit strong, and there's Kendall Schmitz with the stick back.
Kendall Schmitz.
She's into double figures with 10, pulling them to with an 11. We're going to have a jump ball. Chia
Possession, Manitowoc.
gets her hands on that. Can be turnover Redbirds. Ships will see if they can dig into this lead a little bit. Little fadeaway comes up short for Bolchin. She tries it with the right hand. Battle for the rebound. Going to be knocked off of Quinchia. Going to head over to the Pere. Shishelsik checks in for the Redbirds. And Addie Dwyer's going to grab a seat. You know,
this is going to make me sound like an old guy here, but do we have the slipperiest jerseys, or is tucking your shirt in not a rule anymore?
They don't talk about it a whole lot, so you know, I mean, the shorts have gotten shorter. It looks like the jersey tops aren't quite as long, but yeah, I think they used to have like a little piece of like rubber inside the shorts that would hold your jersey in. I don't know. Anyway, dump off to Bolchin from Peterson. The Ships have this thing under 10. It's down to 9 with 5:20 to play here in the ball game. Well, Cale, you remember?
I would have never tucked my shirt.
Oh, I know. But your shorts were like below your knees, if you remember that. I mean, those are the good old days, right?
The whole video. It looks totally ridiculous.
And you did a crossover. Your uniform went one way, and you went the other way. As Tassel goes down the lane, she's going to get hammered and go to the line for a couple.
I wore like a triple extra large. I always thought like if I had this big baggy jersey, guys' arms would get stuck in it and make it look like they were fouling me.
I remember that. You going in to pick out uniform, small, no, medium, no. Just what's the biggest one? All right, yeah, we got a double X or a triple X here. Cale, throw those on. Yeah, they don't fit, but we'll have to duct tape them up because you pull the string so far in.
Yes, the drawstring would break. I'd have to thread like an old shoelace back through it. There was no chance they were staying up if they didn't have a drawstring.
Stossel splits the free throws, and Schmitz grabs it. She's in the front court quickly, and the Ships will see if they can eat into this lead a little bit. Oh, nice dump off. Eichmann on the beneficial pass from Schmitz. Easy layup as she drew 3 kids. Eichmann had an easy layup as looked like, speaking of Schmitz, she's going to pick up her 3rd, team's 5th. Ships have this down to 8 as Dwyer's going to check in for Fisher. And we're going to see a replay of that. Yeah, she drew a crowd. Easy dump off to Eichmann. Oh, good back cut by Neuenfeld. She went up and had that one swatted out of bounds by Quinchia. Maybe just a touch late on that entry pass. Had to wait for it a little bit. Shelsek goes distance. Gets the friendly roll on those DePere rims.
The whole part of the rim there.
She's up to 7. Yikes, as Bolchin down the middle of the lane goes uncontested for a layup. We're going to have a tie-up. As Quincy and a couple of Redbirds get locked up, and that's going to be possession over to DePere. And for those of you listening at home, we've got some new technology. We've got a couple of backboard mics, so if you're hearing the net or the backboard or whatever, it's because we've got a couple of microphones suspended from the backboard to give you, the viewer, nothing but the best from your home lazy boys. So hopefully you're enjoying the sound effects as shots are either swished or clanked off the rim. Tassel, left wing, front rim and in. She's got 13. Birds by 14. 3:20 to play here in the ball game. Eichmann gets stripped by Shelsek. That helps side defense. Active hands by Jaden. Birds will pass half court here. Right under 3 minutes to play in the ball game. Birds by 14.
Well, Mark, sources tell me that the Ice Bears beat Fond du Lac 3-1, and they're headed to state next week.
All right.
So.
Egan wiggles her way in. No good on that. Gets her own rebound. Goes up strong, and she's going to get fouled. Egan working hard.
Manitowoc foul number 11, Kella Eichmann.
As Eichmann picks up her 3rd, team 6th, then Borowski's going to head the line for a couple. Ice Bears, and right, that's a combo team, I think. DePere, West DePere. Maybe it's just those 2 districts. Is Bayport? I'm not sure. I know they got a couple.
Checking in for Manitowoc. Fisher returning for the
Johnson in
Redbirds.
for Manitowoc and Fisher in for the Redbirds. I talked a little bit pregame about that loaded DePere sectional. Again, you got 6 of the top 10 teams in the state in that sectional, and Peterson quickly to the front. Tassel goes up on that rejection, but she's going to get called for her 3rd. She didn't like it. Talking to the official a little bit, lobbying.
Team 7. Peterson.
Peterson, she came through on that one. Going to be her 3rd. As Peterson heads to the line for a couple. Front rim no good. Taylor shoots it right at 53% from the line. But again, you got some quality teams that are not going to make it to the state tournament. I mean, you've got Pewaukee and Kimberly number 1 and 2. Actually, Arrowhead is number 2, but you know, one of those teams, well, maybe no, but none of those teams get to the state tournament, which would be just terrible. But that's the way the sectionals are drawn up, and kids just have to play through it.
Yeah, how did Pewaukee and Notre Dame move up and end up in the same sectional?
And there you see a quick graphic of the Ice Bears, their ticket punch to the state tournament. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how that works from year to year. Obviously, Pewaukee moved up from Division II last year, just with that
Right, Notre Dame did the same
calculator,
thing.
Notre Dame too. So I don't know why they threw him in that sectional, as Tassel knocks down the first free throw. She's got a tied for game high 14.
The WIAA does have a reputation for doing a lot of things that make a ton of sense.
Yeah,
so.
it's just, like I said, it's not great for girls basketball. That transition three by Peterson comes up a little strong, and Tussle will come away with it. But like you said, you got to play who's in front of you, and maybe they'll have some adjustments down the road where, again, maybe they seed the whole state right at the top. You know, and I've talked about that, where if they're concerned about travel, I don't necessarily buy that. It should just be, you know what, if you're bad, you need to go on the road. It doesn't matter where it is. If you're a poor Janesville team and you got to go to Superior, all right, we'll enjoy the 7-hour ride. That's the way it works out.
Yeah, or you could still keep the sectional as is and seed that, and then play Friday, Saturday, and then reseed again.
Yeah.
And because we do it at state already, so what's adding the sectional reseed?
As Dwyer collects the miss off a tussle, and the Birds will reset here. They're up 16. We're under 2 to play here in the ball game. Borowski goes to the floor, loose ball as Tassel gets it. And they're going to get her for an over and back, as I don't believe there was possession off of that tip. So I guess technically still DePere ball, and it looked like maybe Abby went from front court to back court. As Manitowoc is going to call a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout, which will give us enough time to hear from one of our sponsors.
Luxury vinyl floors are waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof, so they can stand up to real-life conditions. You'll find the largest selection at Mako's. Do it yourself or trust our guaranteed installation. Mako's, your premier flooring center. Now that's value.
Welcome back to Pere High School and Rod Kowalczyk Court. We'd also like to thank our Booster Club sponsors that support boys and girls basketball throughout the season to provide a quality experience for the Booster Club program. Green Bay Family Dentistry, Nicolay Bank, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, Muleman's Electric, Greystone Ale House, Harmon Studios, Chicago Street Pub, Mako's Floor Covering Center, Gallagher's, and Exhaust Pros.
Very fortunate to have the sponsors that we do provide us the opportunity to bring you these games all season long. We enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, we've added a few things, a couple of different cameras. We've got some really neat things going on, and certainly, hopefully, the viewer sees the work that we put in and the quality of the video work and some of the sound effects. Talk a little bit about what the backboard microphones bring to the game. So hopefully, you're enjoying it as much as we're having fun putting it on. Work by Bolchin goes backboard, no good. It's going to be Redbird basketball. Redbirds quickly full court, and they'll set up. 16-point lead, closing out 1 minute to play, as Bolchin is going to wrap up Shashelsik, and she's going to have the line.
Manitowoc foul number 0, Sarah Bolchin, her third. Team's 9th. Shashelsik in the bonus.
This will be the last one in the single bonus for the Redbirds.
And Shashelsik knocks down the first, and she's got 8. Senior with the good roll, knocks down point number 9. There you see that balance, right? You got 15, 8, 8, 10. Dwyer's got 4. Good back cut by Conchia, a little strong on that push. As Dwyer's going to turn it over to Bolchin, and she's going to get the little runner to go. She's up to a game high 16. As they pick up full, and a quick push ahead to Dwyer. No reset here in the half court. We're under a minute to play. Birds out in front comfortably right now, 54-38.
So it looks like a trip to Brookfield tomorrow?
That's kind of what it looks like. I don't have an update on my phone, but certainly it didn't look like Brookfield East was in any danger of folding, as they will have to head down to the greater Milwaukee metro area and take on the Brookfield East. I think they're the Spartans with a 4-seed, 5-seed matchup. Pure student section serenading the Manitowoc Lincoln Ship student section as we are under 10. Tossel hanging on to it. And we are at zeros on the clock as the Pere pulls away from Manitowoc here in the second half. And they run away with a 54-38 win over Manitowoc, and they will take on Brookfield East tomorrow night. They've got a 7 o'clock tip from what we know right now, unless there's any other changes. Cale, final thoughts as we sign off?
Yeah, just a really good weathering of the storm for the Redbirds. Ships came out, gave it everything they had, just ran out of gas down the stretch, and that depth of De Pere prevailed tonight in what was a great high school girls basketball game to kick off my favorite time of the year.
There you go. Again, for Cale Coleman, Steve Krieger, working the camera, Paul Roop, working the computer. My name is Mark Mino. It's been a lot of fun to bring you De Pere girls basketball this year. This will be our final broadcast, and we hope to have you all back with us next winter for more De Pere girls basketball. So again, once again from De Pere High School, Redbirds move on with a 54-38 win over Manitowoc. Have a great evening.